Hi and welcome back to my channel. I thought I'd make another demonstrational video of the Amirki pattern with angel sleeves, which would be released soon with the Amirki sleeve bundle. So this video will hopefully be more informative to first time sewists. We'll start off by laying the pattern on the fabric. I'm using this lovely floral 45-inch width glaze cotton. That's what we call it here in Sri Lanka. The front bodice is laid on fold. So I have folded the fabric with the right sides together in the middle and lay the front bodice pattern on the fold. Now I usually pin the pattern, but if you prefer, you could draw it with a tailoring chalk or an air erasable pen. I'm using a color pencil so that it could be visible to the camera. As you can see, I'm cutting it along the lines I drew. It's not that visible. With all Amirki patterns, we include a chart mentioning the yardage required for each size. So when you are adding sleeves or lengthening the skirt, keep that in mind. For these sleeves, of course, an additional quarter yard would do for all sizes. I'm leaving off the skirt length and placing the sleeve pattern. Now I'm cutting it out. I plan to cut out 4 sleeves with the main fabric for the lining as well. This sleeve has no front or back, therefore you can place it anyway. Just be mindful if you are using an intricate pattern which has an up and down pattern or something like that. Now I am placing the front bodice that I cut out from the main fabric atop the lining fabric. I'm using a white muslin which comes in 60-inch width and is quite soft and lightweight, which I think is a good choice to line garments, especially if you have tropical weather. Cut out the lining for the back bodice as well. You could use the pattern to cut the lining, but I prefer to keep the main fabric and cut it out. Use any way that you are comfortable with. As for the lining of the skirt, I am cutting it a few inches short of the main fabric, so when the hem is done, the skirt lining will be well hidden underneath. I am ripping the fabric so it will be on grain and straight. Keep in mind, not all fabrics available in Sri Lanka can be torn. I learned it the hard way, especially printed ones, so be mindful of that. I am lining up the shoulder seams of the lining and sewing it with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Likewise, sew the shoulder seams of the main fabric. After pressing open the shoulder seams, align the shoulder seams of the lining and main fabric both with right sides together and pin it. Secure the neck with pins. It's a bit pressed for time, so skip pressing the seams open, as you can see. I sew along the neckline with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. I continue to attach two back bodies together as well. You can start from the back, but the neck is a major focal point, so I prefer to do it first. Next, trim the corners and reduce seam allowance to 1/4 inch around the neck and add clip marks around the neckline. Be careful not to cut the stitches. As you can remember, I cut two sets of sleeves from the main fabric so that I could line it with the main fabric itself. I decided to add dainty edging I had with me. I decided to attach that first to one layer on the curved side of the sleeve. I keep the second sleeve facing the right sides together, pin and sew it together. Use cut marks to reduce bulk and turn inside out and press. I am gathering the sleeves, which is supposed to be attached to the armhole with 2 rows of gathering stitches sewn each parallel to each other. And then I will pin it to the armhole and then pin it from the mid shoulder point and then gather the sleeves accordingly. I do this since I want to equally distribute the gathers on the sleeve. I attach the gathered sleeve to the main fabric. Unpick any gathering stitches which are visible from the outside. Roll up and pin the sleeves and then place the lining on top of it and then sew. Make sure you have pinned the sleeve away from the seam so that it doesn't get caught when you are sewing it. Called the burrito method. Then I sandwich the sleeve in between the main fabric and lining, as you can see, and pin and sew. Then do the other side the same way and turn it inside out. And then proceed to sew the side seams with a 1/2 inch seam allowance as well. And then press. Once you sew the seams, make sure you give it a good ironing around the neckline and as well as the seams. As you can see, I've prepared a piece for the placket as well. I'm keeping it aside for now and moving on with the I decided to line the skirt for this frock, so I'm gathering the lining first. Since I used the entire 60 inches as the width of the skirt, I had to gather it separately, and you can gather the main fabric using the same method as well. Doing a straight stitch a 1/4 inch away from the raw edge, and the next line should be another 1/2 inch away from the first line. Just make sure you don't overlap the two lines. I have sadly missed some footage here, so I had to reshoot the placket attaching video. Here you can see me marking the midpoint of the fabric. As you can see there, I'm marking the midpoint and cutting the placard length. Here, as you can see, I'm using a folded piece of material which is a quarter inch wider than the placard overlap. So I'm aligning it with the cut mark on the skirt and attaching it with the quarter inch seam allowance at the beginning, but I am tapering it down towards the middle just to catch a fraction of that midpoint from the edge of that cut mark. I'm using a cut mark to reduce bulk, and pressed it open and folded the placard into two, and again folded the quarter inch seam allowance inward, and I've used pins to secure it, and now I'm sewing it with a top stitch. If you need a more detailed video on this, please leave comment. I'll try to make another video on this. It's really not that hard, it just needs a bit getting used to. So I've sewed it in a contrasting color, as you can see. Since I will be adding a lining for the skirt, I will attach both the skirt and lining to the placard. Make sure to cut the lining placard opening with the same length. As you can see from the picture, I've shown the cut mark, then I've attached placard, and then I've ironed the seam inwards, and again from the other raw edge I've ironed a quarter inch seam allowance, then folded it into two, and then secured it with a top stitch. Then it should look like the third figure, and then you can use another stitch to hold it inside so that the placard won't be gaping open. Once you're done with the placard, as in my case attaching both the skirt and the lining to the placard, you go ahead and attach the skirt to the bodice. You can watch the skirt attaching demonstration on my previous video. I will try to link it. So for the hem of this dress, I determined the finished height I wanted and marked it, and ironed the same width along the skirt, and then sewed it on machine. Now the frock is complete. Give it another thorough iron and you are done. You can purchase this pattern with instructions, which is an instant download on Etsy. I'll leave the link in the description below. If you live in Sri Lanka, you can contact me via FB or Instagram for inquiries and order the pattern in print with fabric and zipper or buttons as well. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe. Until next time, thank you and take care.